Alright, here we are for part 3, the probably the last part. Up ahead immediately is Black Rabbit Brotherhood 2, the rematch that everyone dreads, especially for Hitless, and especially in El10. This fight is very resource heavy. We use a lot of throwables, and it takes quite a lot of time. So we just entered this area. We just came back from the Corporate Master, so we first gotta, of course, trigger the cutscene in Geppetto's office. And we do have another quartz to spend that we just got from the Corrupted Great Master. You can manage your equipment here a bit. I usually do it. So we do use the human murderous puppet amulet here for the next part, obviously. But we do not use the technique amulet. We actually use the Carriers +1 amulet that we got in the revisit of Kratzeppel Station for a very specific reason. Because with our normal layout, we are actually always slightly heavy. Oh, thank you for the drink, Eve. And being slightly heavy is a huge issue in a fight where you will have to run in circles a lot. First of all, I will use my quartz here for Fatal Attack. This is just a very small improvement for BRB1, and it will be a small improvement for the Door Guardian as well. When we get the second one of these, fight after we kill them. After we kill BRB2 to get them. So, while equipping the Carriers and hello Ozzy. While equipping the Carriers Annual +1, when we have our glaive equipped, we are still slightly heavy. So there's one other thing that we have to change, and that is we want. First of all, we gotta light this Stargazer again, and we're gonna change our Legion arm to the Legion Armor of Steel. Now we are light loaded again, and now we have way more sprint and all the goodness. Now, what do we need for our layout? We will need cluster grenades, shot puts, and the saw blades that we bought earlier and that we've been picking up over the time. We're going to use a total of 4 saw blades in the fight. We're also going to use some saw blades against Lexalsia, and we're also going to use some saw blades against Menace. We have a lot of Ergo, though, and we will buy more things when we need them. You can buy them whenever you want. It really depends on, because, like, thing is, your Ergo can vary sometimes because you are slightly different from the route. EL means Ergo level. Your Ergo can differ depending on how you change the route, depending on when you might have had to use an extra Fable Catalyst or something if you want to make a fight more secure. There we go. Wait, actually, no, we don't equip this yet. We do equip the Sawtooth Wheel first. And we want our cluster carcass, and then we want, after the carcass, we want the thermite, and that is the last one, we want the thawing cells. We will probably not be using the thawing cells that much. It really depends, but anyway. And we will equip Acid Abrasive here. We can, before, we used to use the Fire Grindstone before we go into the BRB2 fight. We cannot do that anymore because, again, the cutscene does delete it. I still prefer to have the Acid Abrasive ready, though, because it will make things faster. Because you always apply the Acid Abrasive faster than the Acid Grindstone. And we have extras of them, like we have 4 right now. we have an extra one in our storage, and we're going to pick up an extra one in the Abbey, and we're going to use 2 against Luxasia. We're only going to use 1 against the BRB2. And we're going to use an Acid Grindstone and Acid Abrasive against Menace. So we will have enough. There's nothing to worry there. Okay, so this should be a layup. Got to play the certain skill to open the door. There are a lot of things to think about during fighting BRB2. The first thing is, BRB2 has 3 different starts. It depends on who gets picked first as the first aggression. No matter who is picked, we are going to throw at least 2 carcass bottles at the Battle Maniac. For context, the Battle Maniac is... Benia, thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate it.
What should we name them?
I don't know where I'm not sure. The Bean Baron. What kind of sticker can I get you? Please do let me know. I'm very focused on this guide part right now, but feel free to tell me what kind of thing what kind you would like. Hello, welcome. Hello, Crunchpuff. Hello. And I really appreciate your long time support. It's very kind of you lot. You know, okay, good. Shunji Ito, if they are available. Shunji Ito? Like as a name? I do only have like some FromSoft stickers, some cat stickers, some Pokemon stickers. Yeah. Wait, where was I? So I'm trying to focus on the part here real quick with the BRB2 start. So 3 starts. The first start, that is the most preferable, is if the Battle Maniac is actually the first to aggress. When that happens, we throw 2 carcass body fluid bottles, these. And I had Geneva stickers, maybe there was someone else. Yeah, I might have put someone else. Cap, please, sure. Cap. And when he starts, we throw 2 carcass body fluid bottles. And I usually throw 3. No, wait, do I throw 3? No, I throw 4. 4 cluster grenades. And then we start chucking more carcass body fluid bottles while staying aware of what the other 2 siblings of the Brotherhood are doing. It's very important because the eccentric, he only throws a small grenade. That one is not that dangerous. You can dodge it pretty consistently. The double blades of the youngest, however, can go really fast. So be ready to maybe do a little hop to the side. And we want to make sure that the Battle Maniacs at about half health when we throw them all, preferably lower. We're going to throw as many as we can. At the moment that he runs at us and we don't have time to throw more, we immediately throw a shot put. Like when he's close to us, we throw the shot put to stun him and to then riposte. And you have a very small window for the riposte here, so be aware of that. This stuff can get very scary. And yeah, we riposte. We do a charge shot too. And if he's not dead, we throw more throwables. Don't engage him more at close combat because his saber is extremely fast. It is extremely fast. We throw only like thermite or carcass body fluid balls though. Don't throw shot puts because you will need them later. If the youngest starts, we are only going to throw the two carcass body fluid bottles, and that's it. We are not doing anything else. We are gonna run in our circles and focus on those circles. We're not gonna do anything else. Where's my pen? Where did my pen go? Bruh. Did I lose my pen? I might have lost my pen. Damn it. Okay. I'm gonna keep in mind that this is your sticker, Kaz. I'm very sorry. I'll look for my pen later. But keep in mind that that is your sticker. I'm sorry. That's a high rain. Yeah, when she starts, we own for 2 because she's a lot faster in catching up to us. If the eccentric starts, you can actually throw 3 while walking to the left a bit. You can do that. It's scary still, but I mean, if you're really daring, you can throw 4, but it's not consistent. The reason why you might want to throw 4 is because if you throw 4 at the Battle Maniac, it's actually going to proc the effect, like the debuff of the carcass body fluid bottles. But if you cannot, then don't do it so that you trigger the effect when later on. What are you going to do then when the Battle Maniac's not picked? You are going to keep yourself locked onto the Battle Maniac and run in a circle for a very long time. You are going to wait for the Battle Maniac to get picked to be the aggressor, and then you do the same thing that I described before. You're going to throw the cluster grenades, and then your other throwables, sharper for the stun. That's it. That is the way you tackle it. You cannot really consistently throw throwables while you're running on them. You can kind of, but it's very difficult to time sometimes because you still have to deal with 1 sibling chasing you and 2 possibly attacking you. And while the Battle Maniac is alive, you have to at all times be sprinting because his puppet string shot is extremely fast. And if you're not sprinting, it will always hit you. If you're only walking, it will hit you. That's why you have to always be sprinting. And you cannot do dodges either. If you do dodges, you're slow when you stop the dodge. So if he times it at that time, he can hit you that way as well. So here's the big danger in the first phase of the fight. That is everything you need to know about phase 1. I'm going to actually showcase multiple fights here, and I'm going to try to explain the best I can. But right now I'm just giving you like the rundown. When we get rid of the Battle Maniac and we get into quote-unquote phase 2 of the fight, and phase 2 of the fight is damaging the eccentric and the youngest as low as possible without killing either one, because if you kill one, then the eldest spawns and you're in a world of pain. So we try to chipping them down by backstabbing them when they switch aggro, and then usually doing a cha-cha too. And also, you can, hey Squishy, thank you for coming by. And when you fight specifically the eccentric, I'm gonna go over the eccentric if he's aggro first. Whenever you hear the youngest doing her throwable, there is actually a hidden cooldown. Only those 2 really have a consistent hidden cooldown. The Battle Maniac's cooldown is very different, and I am not ready. I cannot confidently talk about how consistent its cooldown is. I believe it depends on if its puppet string hits things or not. It's really, really out there. So always be aware of that. And whenever in phase 1 you need to recharge your stamina, always do it when there's something between you and the Battle Maniac, and you're certain that the one that is currently aggro is not too close to you. With the youngest, that is almost impossible, unfortunately, unless she's currently doing one of her bigger moves where she does a flip or something. So, eccentric. How do we fight the eccentric? When we fight the eccentric, there is actually a little exploit you can use. If you have enough stamina, you can do a running attack, running heavy attack specifically, at the eccentric, and do a back hop by only tapping your dodge button, and he will also do a back hop, and you can immediately run at him again and do the same thing over and over until you run out of stamina. That is something you can do. However, sometimes he does a move where he instinctively, like, dodges around your attack and you're at his mercy, which is why I don't do that anymore, which is why I usually do only running attacks whenever he finishes a move, except for his big jump. When he does his big jump, you can actually run behind him and do a backstab. But always keep the timer of the last throwable of the youngest in your head. And yes, I know BRB2 requires you to think about like 10 things at once. That is the beauty of this fight and also the pain. There is one other move with the eccentric that is very important, because both for the youngest and the eccentric, usually, if you just sprint away from them, they can't hit you. Except for one move by the eccentric. Only one, though. Only one specific one. And that is his running slash. His running slash, if he hits you at a certain angle, he can still hit you. But that depends heavily on his positioning, which is why when you see him sprint at you very fast to do his running slash, make sure to have a dodge ready. Be aware of that. That is the only attack that can really hit you while you're running. With the youngest, the only possibility really is her dash attacks, but those she can only do after she was attacked. She cannot do them just normally. She only does them if she's just been attacked. So that's usually in cases when the battle maniac's already dead and you have way more control of the battlefield, and you can be more prepared to dodge those things on time. For the youngest, when you fight her, when it's her turn, my recommendation is to look for flips. Any kind of flip she does, like her heel flip to the ground, like her, like for example, the heel flip, like her bigger flip where she does a few attacks and then does a big jump. All of those are the best to punish, which are always punished with the running R2. Sometimes if you have the time, if you know a grenade of the eccentric was just thrown, you can do a fully charged R2 onto her when she does her big flip. You can charge it up when she just jumps in the air and you will hit her. But it's risky if you are not that confident with the fight yet. So I would not recommend that to a person that just starting to learn the fight. But with time, you can get into it. And yes, I know I've been talking for 15 minutes about this fight. This fight requires so many things. That is mostly everything about phase two of the fight, quote unquote. What you are going to do is you finish one off, preferably when the aggro switches to them. You finish them off with a backstab, and make sure that the other one is low. As I said, like you want to keep them low, but don't kill them, and then throwing cells on them until they're dead. When they are dead, the first one's dead. Then the timer starts for the Elvis to spawn, which is about, I believe it's 10 seconds. You kill the other one. You discharge your pulse cells, which is what you do before the fight, but they will recharge in the fight. And you do not discharge them in the fight. That is extremely important, that you do not discharge them in the fight for a multitude of reasons. The main reason being, if you cannot fully recharge them until the eldest comes out, you are probably going to recharge it in the middle of your first punish of him, and then hi Voodoo, and then you will not deal enough damage, and you will have to fight him longer, and you don't want to fight the eldest long. There is a specific script you can do to his phase 2 that will kill him all the time. And that script specifically is, we discharge our pulse cells. We will still be at full Fable, preferably. We are going to do 3 R2s at him. The moment he jumps out of his coffin, you can attack him. And you can do 3 fully charged R2s. And he will always do his gem, like, glowing backhand move, which you can Fable heavy parry. After that, you can throw saw blades at him. I throw 2 at first, backing up a bit, throw another one, backing up again a bit, throwing another one, and then by that time he will finish his Fury attack move, which is something he will always do after he gets mini staggered, which is happening with the damage combination that we're doing. Then you throw your one leftover cluster grenades, and you chuck the rest of your shot puts. If he does not stagger there, which is very unlikely, you will have to finish him off with your leftover throwables. But usually, like, honestly, I have not encountered it in a long time that he now doesn't get staggered there. And it was usually because I missed one of my starting R2s. So don't be worried. This should always stagger him. And when it does, you walk behind an obstacle, which will usually be behind you, which will usually be very close to you, to make sure to dodge the wave. You can also parry through the wave that he does at the end of his stagger combo. Like when he gets staggered, he does a little combo before you can actually riposte him. You don't have to parry the wave though. So you can just hide behind an obstacle and then run behind him, do a charge R2, riposte. You have to actually wait a second. If he does not die, you have to wait like a second and a half-ish before you charge your next R2, because he is actually invulnerable while he's completely on the floor. And if you have to finish him off that way, if you didn't deal enough damage. Usually you will deal enough damage. And that is phase 3, basically. It's a script. I'm going to go into the fight now, and we're going to do several attempts at it. But first, we're going to handle the very, 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 very short running section of Relic. The Relic is actually extremely simple. It's not really that scary. I want to show multiple fights here, just in case we can see different openings. Yeah. And one thing to remember that is very unfortunate is that if you do get hit by the eccentric, even if you're in like a practice fight, the fight is dead. Because all your Fable is going to get drained. Because of his electric stuff. So, the path to them is very short and very simple. And there is one reason why we equipped this. First of all, there's going to be a robot that jumps out this wall, and you can actually just walk around it on the right. We are going to drop down right here. And okay, the enemy's finally spawned in. And we're going to throw a cogwheel here to distract this dog. Now the dog's not going to chase us, because sometimes he can chase you to the wall, to the boss door if you are if you don't do that. Now, we want to switch this to our saw blade. We don't want to be on this. Like, we want to have our cluster grenades ready, and we'll have our calculus body fluids bottles ready. We are discharged. Very important. And we cannot, unfortunately, use any grindstones, because if I use it and I go into the fight, it's gonna disappear. That's exactly how it works. It used to be very good, but it doesn't really work anymore, so here we are. Yeah. So I'm gonna make a save state here real quick. And we're gonna look at this fight a few times. You make that real quick. Okay. Save state. Go. Okay. And we're immediately going to, like, the Battle Maniac is going to spawn on the left side. Always. Like, he's always going to be on the left, so you can always just move your camera there and then lock on, and there you go. Oh, God. 2, 3... That's one throwable. I actually threw one too many, I believe. There we go. We got him dead. And now we have to fight the eccentric. So as I said, we just wait for his moves. That's the end of his move, there. That's one of the, his background swings that I was talking about. This is an alongside dash. You can also riposte very easily. Or go for it very easily. He's going to sprint at us here. Wait for her blades. Then we do again the back jump. So always get a nice distance between us. Again, we switch here, so we go on her. You need to always be aware where they are between. This is one of the flips that you can punish, for example. This you can also punish. You need to always be aware where the eccentric is when you're fighting her. This is going to be her big jump. Because if you get too close to him, he will frantically attack you, and it's very hard to dodge, unfortunately. Oh, okay. Oh, I got stuck. We keep an eye on her to make sure. Yeah, that's like the scariest thing that can happen, is getting stuck on the trash bags on the edge of the arena. So always be aware where those are. I'm not going to attack right now because she hasn't done her thing in a long time. Okay, he is too close here, so I'm actually not going to go for the for the backstab because he is too close. Because if during the backstab animation he does attack me, he will still continue his combo and maybe frame trap me. Goes another R2 that can fully charge. There we go. She's almost dead now, but not low enough. So we're gonna bring him low enough. I'm gonna wait for him to heal a bit here. Oh wait, he's actually doing his jump. Usually this you can backstab, this jump. We're gonna wait for him to heal a bit before we do another R2 to bring him low enough right here. See? He's in a good health position right now so that we can now switch to this. We switch to our throwing cell to use... Okay. Okay, she's too close to him, so we cannot backstab her right now, which is an issue, but... we can just kill her normally. Gotta be aware of this. Okay, she's dead with the next attack, so we can also just wait for him, for the switch onto him. So I'll just keep locked onto him and just keep running in circles, we'll be fine. Should be switch any second. There it is. We backstab him. We throw this at her to kill her. We discharge and use our abrasive. 1, 2, 3. I messed up my order there a bit. Yeah, I messed up a little bit. I messed my order up a little bit because I accidentally did an R2 at the start. That was not meant to happen. That was just me messing up my buttons. But yeah, he should be dead. So, apart from that one mess up, that is usually how a fight will go if you get the Battle Maniac start. But you will not always get the start. Unfortunately. Trust me, we all wish we did. Because it is the preferred start. What can happen, of course, is that you get, for example, the youngest start. The youngest start is the least liked start that you can get. So again, we gotta make sure that we're discharged. We hover over our carcass, and we go in. This one we can throw 3. And we're gonna keep locked onto him. You can risk a 4th one, but it's silly to risk it, honestly. I sometimes throw one after he shoots his puppet string, There we go. He didn't hit something. Okay. Now we have his debuff on. This looks very scary because it is extremely scary. So now we're gonna wait for the switch while his damage ticks down. Okay, there he is. This is extremely bad because, yeah. This is an extremely late stagger. So now we are going to have to deal with a lot less, because unfortunately, the youngest ate his the youngest ate a lot of the shot puts here. So we are going to have to be a lot more careful and probably fight the eldest a little bit longer, actually. But again, same thing as we did before. This is that sprinting slash I was talking about. That is a very scary. It's gonna be switch here. Yep. He stays far away, so we can do a full damaging of the youngest. That is a very scary Fury attack you can do after being damaged. If you aren't in the right position, if you're not far enough away, she can actually hit you. And it's very scary when that happens. So be aware of that, because it's always a straight line, but she does track you a little bit. And there's another one we can punish very safely. Always make sure that you have some good stamina, so you can run again straight after a punish. Okay, she's not close enough. It's fine. We can punish this with a backstab here. Because she just threw her blades, so she's going to take some time before she throws them again. So we'll be fine. I just keep like at about 7 to 8 seconds timer in my head. Okay, he's too close here, so I'm not going to do the full punish. Because it's too scary. Whenever you don't know where the eccentric is, by the way, make sure to rather be further away than closer. Because if he is lurking for you, and he's going to hit you, you're in a world of pain. She might switch you actually in a second. Yep, she's gonna switch now. There you go. I'm not gonna go for the full punish here because he's close to death. So we are going to just wait. One good thing is we do have one extra cluster grenade to use for the big bro this time. And we could also just throw 5 saw blades instead of only the 4 that I usually use. Okay, she's extremely close to him, so I'm gonna be careful. I want to refresh my stamina here a bit. Let's wait for a move for first and refresh stamina whenever she does stuff. That is a risky one that I just did there, but can do a light attack there without killing her. Be fine. So we will be able to kill her when she's about to switch now. There we go. We can kill him. We can throw this at her. Oh. There we go. Third. This time I'm gonna do another 2. Ah, I fucked that up. There we go, there's the stagger. I slightly fucked that up, unfortunately. Also, my doorbell just rang, so I'm gonna have to go in a second. But we can just kill him here, so that's that. You have to do it a bit delayed. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Okay, so that is how this start goes. If it's not the Battlemaniac. The only difference between the two here is the only real difference between eccentric or youngest is the starting carcass bottles you throw. There are a lot of small things that can still go wrong in this fight. This fight is not a 100% consistent game. That is sadly not how it is, because there are so many factors with the positioning of the different siblings when it transitions to the Battlemaniac, all that stuff. I know that you might be thinking, oh, but if there is someone in the way, can I not just wait out a cycle for him to be its turn again? Unfortunately not, because you can actually not run from him. You cannot run from him when he is chosen. It does not work. It's it does kind of work, but it's extremely inconsistent, and he can do a lot of very fast puppet strings that are going to hit you. So for that reason, unfortunately, that doesn't work that well. Okay, so. And again, for the eldest, what you do the parry, you do the heavy parry, you can do an R2, a fully charged R2, you throw your 4 saw blades, usually I throw 2, I back up a bit, throw another one, back up a bit, for the final one when he does the fury attack, if I have enough distance. And then I throw my cluster grenade and then spam my shot puts that I still have. Which will usually stun him. I just messed it up here because I haven't played this game in a bit. But yeah, that is usually what will stun him. Hey Theory, do you know how to calm down patch the silly game? It's driving me nuts. Theory, I'm literally doing a guide right now about how to handle this game after the patch. We're literally doing that as we speak right now. So if you do have questions, feel free to ask them. I have EL10 proven the post DLC patch approach. So if you have issues with it leveled, I don't know how to help you. If you have issues with it on EL10, I believe you're running EL10, right? Also, if you have issues with it EL10, then I can definitely help you. I am on EL10? Yeah, then I can definitely help you, because that's the run I'm also doing. I am going to finish this part. I'm going to keep going. If you have issues with things that are happening on screen at the moment, then we can talk about them then. If you have issues with things that are elsewhere in the run, we can talk about them after I finish After Name is Puppet, okay? Because I'm recording this right now for someone. And if you want to look at the sections that are previous to this, I already have the 2 parts uploaded to YouTube. For well, the first part is Start to BRB1, and the second part is White Lady up to Crop the Parade Master. I know there are some parts, I assume, probably Sazi is one that you're very worried about, and probably also Victor. Maybe Romeo? All 3 of those have changed. I can do everything except Lax and Victor with consistency. Okay, Lax, I found something that works pretty consistently. So we will talk about it because there's 2 specific starts to Lax, and we will talk about them both in a moment. We got to. There's also one other thing. The first part of the Abbey was changed a little bit because there's one skip that is now changed a bit, and I'm going to show 2 approaches that you can use for that. Yeah, Lax harder now because Double nerf and Doors killing your buffs. I mean, Doubles were nerfed that hard. They're still very broken. I feel like there's not a big nerf, but yeah. But the Doors killing your buffs, that is, I'm still certain that the Doors killing your buff is a bug that was not intended. And I keep spamming the Lies of P Discord with it, telling them like, guys, can you address this bug? Because they don't talk about it in the patch notes, so I don't believe that it's supposed to be that way. Now we're going to just run through. You can talk to them to get the extra ergo fragments. I usually don't, because you will have enough. Yeah, I think it was intentional. It rolled out with 1.9 though, and still prevails on 1.10. Yep. It is extremely bad. It is an extremely bad bug. I have actually paused me running this game for that reason. Because I don't know if when more patches come out, I have to change my route again. This is just right now for the current situation that we have right now. If things change again, I will probably just delete these VODs and then like readjust it for final guide. And I also made the credo that I'm never going to run a game again that is still receiving updates. I'm not going to do that to myself ever again because I spent 400 hours on this route, and then the DLC comes out, and I had to readjust several things, and it's just painful. It was just extremely painful. And I think you know exactly how that feels. All right, we're gonna go and use our last quartz here. I can talk to you a bit about Victor if you want later. Alexasia I will go in depth with as well. I do, for the most part, still do her the exact same way. There's just one tiny thing I changed, and that's when that's like how I buff in phase 1. So first of all, I use my last little quartz to wherever I want. I use I get another fatal attack 2. That's just for Door Guardian. That's literally for nobody else. It just makes him a little bit faster, but he's really not a problem because he was changed a lot in the patches. Yeah, it's just extra quartz we have. For Victor, I'm just buffing with Acid Abrasive after the first running swing due to the timer difference and Affliction not lasting long on him. Trying not to have an Affliction on him when he phases. I can handle him easily enough. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That is basically the change that I also approached with. I don't do a heavy Fable parry on his initial swing. I just do a light. And then I back away, use the Abrasive. I use the Grindstone, actually. And I still use the Abrasive for phase 2. That's basically how I do it. So, for this, it's important to not run too much on the straight line because otherwise these things can actually hit you. I like to hug this area to lead the Scorpion away a bit. Hey, Alex. And then I hug the left side here to avoid this dog from chasing me too close. He will stop aggroing in a second, so we will be fine. Once we reach the door, they will all aggro. See, they like all stop chasing us. And now let's talk about talismans. We actually don't use the Conquerors here. We use this. And we use, of course, the Carcass, and we use the Technique. Now, how do I do this fight? I specifically have a very certain approach to do it without having to parry him at all. So what I do is we still have our Flame Grindstone, as you can see. We discharge, of course. We use our Flame Grindstone. We run in, and we throw 3 shot puts at his left leg. 1, 2, 3. They will always mini-stack him. We do 1 running out 2. We dodge the initial attack. So we'll already stagger him. There we go. We do a weapon out here. And we do careful sprinting R2s. Sometimes you can do moves that you have to dodge. But, yeah, we do sprinting R2s here. Wait, you got the run? No, I did not. I still haven't gotten this one. I'm just doing a guide on how I approach it. Mostly for Gloom, because she told me that she uses my VODs as a guide to her for a dance pad run, because I use alternative controller just like her. Of course, my alternative controller has a lot more capabilities, and it's a lot easier. Like piano's a lot easier than dance pad in comparison. But she like uses my approach to a lot of things to guide her through her run. And when I heard that, I was like, hey, I can make you like a proper start to finish thing. And I can also double it as a very rough and not very detailed, but at least somewhat usable Hitless guide. So we refresh our Fable here real quick. Because I actually kill this guy right here. You can like use the pocket watch to escape this fight. I cannot do that simply because of my menuing. So I do it a little bit differently. You don't have to do it this way if you're playing on a controller. If you are playing on an alternative controller, and my guide is very focused on making alternative controller runs possible, of course, then you might find this somewhat useful. So what I do, I discharge. I mean, you throw 2 throw bolts per each of these. We spin past. And we're going to lock onto this guy. And I stand very close to the left here. I buff with fire. Once he's on the corner, I will throw 1 shot put. And do the weapon art. Riposte. And he'll be dead. This way, I'm still in a position where this thing cannot hit me. And I can safely walk up here. Grab this. I usually teleport back to the hotel here to refresh my Fable yet again. If you have an abundance of Fable Catalysts, as per usual, just use those if you want. And in a moment, we're going to get to a very RNG-heavy section, which is the bridge with the 2 scorpions. They are very unpredictable, and especially if you're playing on an alternative controller, things can get messy. So, yeah, it's not that fun. But first, the novel path that we're going to take. there's a few enemies we kill and a few enemies we just kill with running attacks, because the running attacks of the glaive are actually extremely broken. They do a lot of poise damage for just being a running attack. They're extremely fast, have a lot of reach, and they're just fucking great. I actually discharge immediately at the start here. And we prepare to use thermites. We just sprint down the bridge. This thing up there cannot hit us, we'll be fine. There's one guy across here now that we're going to throw 2 thermites at. This guy right there. It's important to walk a bit before you throw, because otherwise you will hit these beams and then your thermite will be wasted. Up here, we also throw 2 thermite at this guy. And now, one thing that controller users usually don't do, but I do, is I boop out here a bit and wait for the shot. I go back, and then I go forward again, because it takes time to reload. I got stuck. Amazing. Now I buff my weapon. And we just do sprint attacks. I puppet string these guys if I had my puppet string equipped, which I didn't, because I'm stupid. So you can also run attack them, if you are as stupid as me. Your grindstone should last all the way. If one doesn't die, their moves are usually very slow, so you'll be fine. Now, unequip this to be light again. And now, these 2 scorpions, they have a lot of idling, where they turn to different directions. None of them are completely safe, unfortunately. I tried many things with like directing them. I usually prefer when this one looks at this chest. And when he looks at me, I see what he does. When one of them does a specific move that is a charge, you throw a shot put at him. Right now, we are safe. Yeah, we're safe. It's very close, but we are safe. And now we're going to get into a very specific skip that is very fun. Not. You do actually need to take the Stargazer for one specific approach towards the skip. So there are 2 ways to do the following small part. One way is using a jump. Wait, first of all, I need to re-equip my puppet string. I forgot about it. Well, we don't need it for the section, but I have to equip it later. So there are 2 ways to do this. One way is using a weapon art to jump onto that platform, which used to be extremely easy, but now it's extremely hard. There are lineups for it, but let's just say they're not the most consistent thing in the world. So what you can do is, if you stand about like when one of your feet is still next to this line that our left foot is standing on, gonna go all the way until the right foot is is past at the bottom. You see at the bottom this little curved thing that's now above my hat. When your right foot is past that curved thing, and you want to face straight towards the door, you want to have like about this angle. See, so on your left foot is on the stone still, and you look at the door. This can work. It's not consistent though. In this case, it did work. I'm going to really quickly go back to the most recent Stargazer to show you the other way as well. The other way is a lot more messy, unfortunately. And it relies on cogwheels and cluster grenades, and a lot of throwables are being used here. It's of course not preferable, but just how it goes. Gonna just do a save state here real quick. Where's the save state? There it is. Okay, so the other approach there is, it has to do with these guys down here. So first of all, what you can do is you can kill both of these very simply. You can just plunge attack this guy and sprint attack this guy. He's too slow to attack, so you can just sprint attack him. And from here, after discharging, of course, which you have to do in this case, usually I don't discharge here. Usually I discharge at a later point for health reasons, but we don't have to do it here. What we're going to do is we're going to throw one thermite at this guy to kill him. If it does not kill him, we have to throw a second one, which leads to some issues with other stuff that's not going to be very fun, but we'll have to deal with it. Now, we throw one cogwheel at this cluster, which is going to bait that guy towards that. And we're going to try to throw a cogwheel near the edge to now bait him towards the edge. And we're going to throw 2 cluster grenades at him and hopefully push him down. That is what you want to happen. And then you can jump down. You will survive this fall. Usually now you would be using the discharge of your pulse cells. You would use a pulse cell. I'm sorry, that was my bad. You would now use 1 pulse cell. And now we're in the normal section like it was pre-patch. I personally, if I have to throw these thermites, I now use a fire abrasive here to running attack these guys. Usually I would actually be using, for that reason, because he can jump at you like that, that's why you would usually, for safety reasons, use thermites. But, yeah, if we don't have the extra thermites, we have to do it like this, unfortunately. Because we're using a lot of thermites in other places. You can always just sprint attack this guy, he will always fall down. And now we get to something that I cooked up a little while ago, which unfortunately was changed with the last patch, but it still works in a certain way. You can run past this guy that's coming out here. You can, but it's not consistent. So what I do is I let him aggro. We jump down here and let him de-aggro and wait for his resting position. Right here. And now we throw a cogwheel, preferably above him. Not that far. Come on. There we go. And now we can sprint behind him because he's distracted. That's all the cogwheels we use for the rest of the run. It's why I buy a lot of extra cogwheels, because some of these positions are a bit more precise. Then go immediately to the right. We watch out for these thrusters thingies. We throw 2 thermites at this guy. We sprint attack and R2 this guy. And now we get to a very fun part. You abusing how some of our choices in our P organ actually extended the stagger riposte windows. We're going to stagger an enemy without actually killing it, because we're just going to stagger to run past it. So we go back down. You can jump back down over there. I usually don't do it. Oh, this guy can sometimes throw carcass bottles, by the way, or Fable Catalyst, also very preferable. But I just walk down. Managing your health in this running section, because it's very long and requires a lot of drops, is very important. We sprint immediately to this face and lock onto this guy, and we want to stand where with only the from the rightmost guy being still visible, like to our right, you see. And then we're going to throw 3 of these. We're just going to stagger him, and he's going to take a long time to recover, so we're just going to spin past. Make sure to walk a good circle around that guy, because otherwise you will get hit by his acid. This guy will not leave his cannon, so you can just go up the ladder next to him. See, we'll just leave you alone. But we have to hurry because this scorpion will follow us. Now comes the section where I usually don't discharge my pulse cells early. And we walk onto this beam right here. And we take a lot of fall damage here, which is why we want to be full health when we reach this. And now we're gonna get into the scariest strafe in your life. Hey, Wexler. We are going to wait outside of this and gonna wait for an enemy. And when he attacks, after he stabs into nothingness, right here, this guy right there, or steps into nothingness, we're gonna strafe around him under his swing. Right here. Very scary, very not fun. Gonna carefully sprint around this guy. Thank you for the follow, whoever did that. And we can just keep going. We keep going and we keep going. Yeah, it is very scary, but it's extremely consistent. So there's nothing to worry about there. It's nothing to worry about that. Hello, Joe. Now we give him a gold coin fruit again, of course. And now we get to a very interesting running section that has a lot to do with timing. And I have tried to fix the timing of this running section multiple times, and it's extremely messy. First of all, we are actually going to equip our cat dust that we got in either the rafters or in the revisiting of Card Central Station. This is the only situation where we will ever use the cat dust, and it's used right here. So, we are going to activate the Stargazer. Don't forget to do this. If you forget to do this, you are in trouble. You can also sit on it. Just it's important that you do discharge after because you need the extra stamina. Make sure that you are light loaded, so unequip your glaive. We walk forward and wait for this guy to jump down. He will jump down about here, and then we run to the right. We're gonna recharge some stamina about here. Okay, this is not the best situation. We don't want that guy to turn around. That right there in the corner, when you run around this this path, is the scariest part about this whole running section, is because you can actually get stuck on that part. The moment we reach the top of this, we cat dust immediately. Don't take a single step. Run to the right. And now we're gonna hug behind the second brazier. We're really gonna run to the right here. Wait for this guy to run past. And now we can go through. We activate the lever. This is where usually the other guy that we wanted to jump down at the start would be standing or would be attacking us. That is why we make him fall down first. And now we do most recent Stargaze. Now we walk almost the exact same path again, but we don't need to make this guy drop down again. We discharge again, of course, to have the stamina. We can walk directly this time. And this time we walk straight through. And don't stop sprinting here, or this little guy will grab you. It's a very tight window, as you can see. So you cannot stop sprinting here. We don't have to re-equip our weapon just yet. You just keep sprinting, and you'll be fine. It's important here to walk in a big arch, so I usually just walk around this beam and like briefly touch about this area. Because we need this guy to do his attack, so that the tentacles do not spawn underneath us while we climb the ladder. That is the scary thing that can happen if you are too fast to the ladder. This guy, even if he falls on you, he does not actually deal damage or stagger you, so it's not a hit. Now right here, we re-equip our weapon. Because we're gonna do the running boop down effect again on this guy, like we did earlier, the other one. Boop, and he falls down. We unequip again. And now we have to walk through this. These beams are scary as fuck, but don't worry, you'll be fine. We equip our shot puts. Morning, Dennis. We need to shoot 3 shot puts at this guy that is standing right here. 1, 2. While throwing the third one, I'm already sprinting. You can do another scary strafe up those stairs, or you can just let yourself fall down here. And that guy will never bother you. And you can just use this ladder. It's slower, but it's safer. Because this guy doesn't see you. And now we are approaching the south. Just gonna go up the stairs. We can ignore the guy with the puppet body. We just sprint straight to the ladder. No care in the world. He is too slow to ever hit us. See? We're just way too far from him. Theory, are you still here? Because then I can talk to you about Luxasia now. So, we are going to equip acid abrasives right here. We are going to need fire, then throwing cells, then carcass. We need the order of saw blade, shot put, cluster grenades. That's what I use at least. Oh yeah, I'm still here just trying a few things to down press the game. Okay, gotcha. Okay, let me actually check. How many Fable catalysts do I still have? I have quite a few, so we don't have to go away. Let's do this. We still have enough of these. Oh, fuck. Okay, I don't have enough. We need to buy stuff. Let me just buy some things real quick. So, the way I fight Luxasia is really messy. Unfortunately. We are going to do only 1 parry. I know the usual approach is 2 parries. I do only 1. And I use a lot more throwable chucking, which you can afford on EL10. There are 2 openings she has. There is 1 backhanded sprint, which we will fable heavy parry, and there's 1 downward smash, which we will fable light parry, then hop to the side into a charged R2. Those are the only 2 opening moves you really have to know. Everything else doesn't matter, because we are going to send her into phase 2 extremely fast. And in phase 2, I'll talk about phase 2 in a second. But yeah. Let me buy just a few of these. This will be enough for the rest of the run. This will also be enough for the rest of the run. This will also be enough for the rest of the run. Also enough. Also enough. Actually, I might need more of these. Who cares? Oh wait, I do need more saw blades actually. So against Luxasia, we're going to use 4 saw blades. And then throw 2 shot puts to get a mini stagger, and that's the moment we buff with an abrasive. That is very important to know. I'm going to go pee real quick, and then we're going to tackle this fight. Okay. So, let's do this. First of all, let me delete the save states I made that we are not going to use anymore. And then make a new one right here. There you go. There we go. Okay. So, first of all, our things here that we use is, of course, we use the Conquering Amulet again. That's obvious. Okay. We discharge before the fight. And depending on her opener, of course, we're going to use up one Fable. So we're going to use one Fable Catalyst before we go into phase 2. What's very important, what we're not going to do in this phase under any circumstances is use Carcass bottles, because we need all 7 of them for phase 2. That's very important. So we are going to throw, again, 4 Saw Blades, 2 Shot Puts. We're going to buff our weapon, and then we're going to throw Thermite until she's too close, and we have to do our parry. And then we're going to back away from her and throw all our cluster grenades, all 5 of them. We're going to throw, we can throw a leftover Saw Blade and throw Shot Puts until she's stunned. And then we're going to chuck throwables to hell. All of them except Carcass. I, for my controller, make sure that my cursor ends on the Carcass bottle though, when she actually phase transitions. Okay. Yeah, and then in phase 2, we throw 2 Carcass bottles immediately. You throw immediately before you even lock on. You press the button immediately, lock on while the animation is playing already. Throw a second one immediately as well. Then immediately use your abrasives on your asset abrasives, and then throw the 5 other ones right after. Not a break. There cannot be a break, and it has to be all queued or you are too slow. Then we forward Fable parry every single one of her lightning bolts. And when she is about to dash at us, I usually press the button when she just starts flicking forward. You cannot press this too early, because it's a very small window. And then we do a Fable Heavy into an R2 for the charged one, and a Fable Art, and then we back away, because she's going to be fully stunned. If she does not die, we have to back away. And then, wait her out her whole staggered animation. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to do this a few times to show the different openings. We'll see, because there are 2, and I want to make sure that you see both. We're going to run forward first before we throw our Saw Blades. To about here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Buff. That is the backhand swing. Now we run away from her. Let her do a move. There we go. Everything used up. I actually didn't do my Fable, but that's fine. There we go. Of the other ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. R2. Fable Art. Back away because she will not die. You just wait out. I could do a running attack. She's there. That's how we kill. That is the one scenario. That's the one scenario where she does her backhand swing. Now we're going to go over the other scenario, which is the down smash. Theory, did you catch all this? And do you have any questions? since you're all running this run. Oh yeah, I can do all of that. I see what I'm doing wrong for her. I'm just too slow. Oh, okay. Okay, you're not spamming fast enough. Gotcha. Yeah, it's a big thing. I get you. Okay, now we're gonna do this again. Again, let's equip this. And we're gonna see the other opener she can have. Hopefully. Hopefully we'll see it. Again, I want to have fire here. I want to have star blades here. I want to have this here. Just how I personally prefer it. Go in. Before pre-patch, you used to just buff at the store and just make things a lot easier. But thanks to the DLC, we have to do things a little bit differently now. Unfortunately. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I actually was too slow here. I accidentally buffered this. Okay, we're getting the we're unfortunately getting the same opening again anyway, so let me just out of this. Because we want the other opening. We want to see the other opening. Theory, do you play on controller or mouse and keyboard? Because on mouse and keyboard, you have the advantage that you can use the buttons 1 to 4 for all the extra belt slots, so you don't have to hold the button. That makes things so much faster on mouse and keyboard, it's ridiculous. I'm abusing that with my piano because I just have shortcuts for these 4 buttons, for these 4 extra back buttons. So for me, using this in the middle of the combo is very easy because I just need to press this button over here, which is always number 4. This is always number 3, this is always number 2, and this is always number 1. So I have a little bit of an advantage here, so I don't know how well that translates to controller with switching between all the queued actions that fast, but I'm sure you could do it. Okay, let's see again if we can maybe see that other opening. I might actually, let me just redo this save. Control is fine, you just have to stop what you're throwing in the middle of the third animation to not get animation lock. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do that too, but I have it a little bit easier, luckily, with all my extra buttons. Because believe it or not, a piano has more buttons than a controller. Alright. Let's go in. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. While backing up, it's again the same one. That is a move she can do sometimes, so be aware of that. Oh, I was a bit slow there, my bad. My bad, I was messing up there a bit. Oh. Oh, I was fucked up there. Yeah, I fucked up bad there. Oh my god. Yeah, whatever. I messed up there and I got electrified, so I lost my Fable, so that is completely on me. It is still a very tight window, and it's not that easy. It's really not that easy. I do really recommend, though, to turn down your details for this, so the electric bolts are not as huge, because then sometimes you cannot see all of them in because sometimes then one is covering the other and you cannot really predict the timing that well. So I big time recommend, especially for this fight, to turn your details low. Okay, so it's one more time. I hope we get to see the other move real quick. It's again not that move. Oh, that can happen too, and that's why you back up, by the way. That is exactly why you back up. Also, thank you, Mesny, for the follow. I appreciate it. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. I messed that up a bit again. I messed that up a little. It is, even though it is a script, it's not an easy script. The timings are very precise, the positioning is very precise, because that's the big issue with that backhand swing. She can move through you. She completely can phase through you. That's why you back up while you throw the thermites. So one more time, and hope that she will please finally do the other move, because I really want to show the other move. There's only those two that are options. One, two, three, four. One, two. Okay, now I think she will do the other move. Yeah, she's doing the other move. Do that. To one up to the side. And I just realized I didn't buff my fucking weapon. Okay, I actually didn't deal enough damage here because I didn't buff my weapon. Yeah, I didn't deal enough damage because I forgot to buff my weapon. But yeah, that's how you do that other opening. You specifically do that little, side hop. Do I still have a post Laxazia? Okay, I do have to kill her once now. Okay, we got to do it one more time to kill her, to be past her, to do the next section. One strafe CR2, nice. Yeah, exactly. You just do one hop to the side. That's all you need. It's always enough to just do one hop to the side. That's all you need. I was in my brain. I was in the old script where I would have already buffed at this point. I just completely forgot about the abrasive because I'm a little silly. By the way, Theory, do you do Nameless or do you not do Nameless? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2. You're not doing Nameless? Okay. Any reason why? Oh, fuck. This you can also do if all other things fail. Oh, I was too slow, I think, on the second one. Yeah. That's fine. There you go. I know that the scary thing about Nameless is like the The scary thing about Nameless is the explosion parry. And let me tell you, Fury, I found a perfect 100% accurate visual cue that you can even anticipate to do it 100% consistently. And then maybe you'll add it to the one and do all main game murder bosses. Because I'm maxing my humanity to hug the cat. Wait, what? I'm adding another 40 minutes specific to listen to music in the middle of the run. I just wanted to be done after I kill Manus, that's all. Oh, I see. Okay, that's understandable. Okay. First things first, I usually do refresh my Fable here, because we do need a bit of Fable. And we have some extra stuff to spend, so we can also get some extra Fable Catalysts. I don't know how many more we need, actually, but this way we can use some extra ones. I just got up to mana, so we don't have to go back to the hotel again. But maybe if you've seen my approach to Nameless Puppet, maybe you want to add it anyways. But of course, that's up to you. Let's just get some extra of these. We're not getting any more upgrades, so nothing else to worry about here, really. You can, by the way, pick up the other Legion armor again. I don't really need it, so I never use it. If you want it. I'm already doing something spooky in the one fighting survival. Oh yeah, right. You told me that, dude. That's fucking crazy. Why do you not want to fight a tone? Puppet string supremacy, real. When I first played this game, I barely used puppet string. And through Hitless, I learned to really love that thing. This thing is amazing. Okay, I unequip my weapon here. For many reasons. The main reason was being so we are light. And then I discharge to make sure that we have all the stamina in the world. Gonna go deal with Sophia. There's one enemy here that was actually changed with his tracking, which is a little bit scary, and I think I have a solution for it, but I'm actually not sure if it's 100% consistent yet. So while learning this run, you might want to experiment with this, and that's one very early enemy here, right at the start, a guy that burst through a wall. Because his AI was changed with the DLC release a little bit. It's really annoying. Fighting a talent bores me, and she's just trying to protect you from going up the hill and dying to the ergo mutation. She does not deserve death. Understandable. Okay, you do hug the left side here. Yeah, this guy, usually you were able to just hug the left side. I think you will have to just boop it more to the right. I'm honestly not sure what to do with him anymore. I'm tempted to maybe experiment on that a little bit more, and I encourage you to experiment a little bit with it as well. Also, don't sit at that Stargazer, because if you sit at that Stargazer, the one fire breather will follow you and kill you. You go around the pillar? Yeah, okay, that works too. That sounds good. Exactly what Theory said right there. Just go around the pillar. You'll be fine. All of these enemies, you can sprint past, you'll be fine. Nothing to worry about. I usually refresh my stamina when I reach this part of the stairs right here. Yeah, just keep sprinting past, you'll be fine. Don't worry about anything. You sprint behind this guy. This guy's gonna do his funny tentacles again. And you just go up the stairs, the ladder. He's way too slow to follow you. See? He doesn't even reach you. And now here we're going to use some thermite. You can actually do something with a puppet string here. I like throwing just 2 thermite. We go across here. And now this guy, he will shoot 3 times while being fully faced you. If he shoots a wall, he will only shoot once. So what you can just do, you can just strafe left and right, and like, see, I can just go here. And then throw my 2 thermite. There you go. That's all you gotta do. Very chill. Now you need to equip your weapon. We're gonna use our last 3 thermite. What you can actually do here, if you want to, you can actually buff your weapon. We're gonna throw 3 thermite at this guy coming down the stairs. And preferably not miss. And then do an R2, sprinting R2 usually, to kill him. Last time I got here, post-patch, for some reason had to fight the fox. I think it's just because of a menu bug I did. So I'm gonna talk to her a bit slower this time. Just so that she doesn't attack me again like last time. There you go. I must have accidentally like pressed down to like tell her no. Because by giving a Gulcon fruit, she will not attack you. And you can just get this fight. Luckily. No, I will be honest to my dad. And tell him that he's a shit father. Because he sucks. And now we're gonna get into a bit of a tougher running section. There is a lot of very specific throwable usage here. I'm going to try and commentate it on it live, but I will also just like advise you to also just watch what I throw. I'll try my best to commentate on it live. First of all, you need to have the acid grindstone out. I discharge here. I pick this first, cluster grenades. Walk into this light, this red buff. For all 5 of these at him. And a shot put. Sprint, riposte. R2. Discharge. Throw 1. Sorry, we throw 2, my bad. We usually throw 2, my bad. We throw 2 at this guy. Just because I would usually throw the other one at that other guy, I'm just going to throw 1 into the void, so we have the same amount right now. You're going to throw 1 at this guy. And then sprint attack. And back up for the explosion. Another 1. Same thing. Now we're going to throw 3 fire at this guy. 1, 2, 3. And sprint attack. Gemini is going to hold a bit of a TED talk. When we go into the next room, we want to make sure that our stamina is full, because we're going to sprint past a juggernaut and going to sprint over a beam. This is going to require a lot of precision, so if you're on an alternative controller, this might be your worst enemy, but that's just something you unfortunately have to deal with. And I do also pick out my shot puts for the upcoming enemy. There we go. Important to hug the left side here on the beam, or otherwise this guy will attack you early. You don't want that to happen. After walking over this bridge, I turn around, giving him a bit of the shot put treatment and a last throwable to the face. This guy, we throw 3 fire at him, and then we do the running attacks like we always do. Or just an R2 in general. Now where's the shooter guy? There he is. Remember what I said? When he shoots against the wall, he will only shoot once. He will not shoot 3 times. So you wait for him to shoot once against the wall there, and then run into him. Running attack R2, and then regular R2. There you go, no in Menace. Second to last fight, the last fight of the any percent. For Menace phase 1, I have two approaches that are very consistent. They both build off of the same principle because I'm only attacking him when he does one specific move. You don't have to do it this way. I like to do it this way. So usually I keep the same layout as I had from Luxasia for the damage later. And we just, of course, switch this to this. So, in phase 1, there's a lot of things you can do. There's two main approaches. You can do the parry approach, and you can do the very long but extremely safe running only approach. What I do is, of course, I'm already discharged, as you can see. Oh wait, I'm not. Never mind. Gotta be discharged. I go into the fight, and we buff with the grindstone at the very start. I'm going to show you the fast way first for a little bit. We just run away. On this one, he's going to do a backhand. Right here, which we parry. If you are behind him, you can do an R2 extra. If you are not behind him, you cannot. This one you just have to run from. Now we see what he does now. He will do a backhand here again. Never mind, not always. This push forward, he will always do a backhand. He will run forward now. You wait for this backhand, right here. Wait, what? Wait. Wait, what? Wait, I'm extremely confused right now. Since when can he do that move? Is that... Okay, maybe that was... I don't know why that happened. Okay, let's... Okay, back to normal. I don't know why that happened. I don't know if it was just a bug. I fought this guy for over 50 hours and I've never seen him do that move when after he does his backhand, so I'm like very surprised right now. This backhand you don't go for because you will follow it up with more, see? So you cannot go for that. This is a safe backhand. What he's going to do here. I think it's actually that I missed the parry. I think that's what happened actually. Because I just noticed that I have one left over for parry, so maybe I just didn't parry correctly. You can actually also parry this if you want to. I don't like to, but you can. It's more risky with this. For the most part, if you follow this path, you can you don't have to dodge much. You can just sprint away from every attack. And another approach that I'm going to show you right now real quick, which is going to take a lot longer, is literally just running in circles. And you wait for him to do the backhands, but you don't parry them. What you do instead is to just sprint attack them, do one backup and run away. And then I usually like repair my weapon to get the max buff, the max durability buff, and then we do it again. That's also a way you can do phase 1 very slowly, but it's extremely secure. Like nothing can happen to you if you do this. As long as you wait for only those backhand moves. Right here, he's going to do sprint forward again. He's got a backhand. Going to attack, back away, and that's it. This again, he's going to run forward and then do a backhand. After this one. Sprint attack, back away. You can do that for the entirety of phase 1. He can never be fast enough to hit you as long as you immediately sprint away. You'll be fine. But I prefer to do the parry method because it is a bit faster. It just takes like 6 fucking years to fight his phase 1. So I'll show it again. He swings forward. Back away again. You can also keep preparing your weapon between these things, because just for the extra damage you're going to deal. Now, about to go into phase 2. Phase 2, first thing you do, discharge your pulsar and buff. On this move, you sprint towards him and then dodge to the side. You can force a stagger here, by the way, if he does the big jump. Now we can run away. Now I usually throw these. And he goes into phase 2. One parry. Second parry with R2. Back away. We back away. I actually just throw everything to get more stagger into him. Okay, there we go. And now I usually throw Carcass at him. And I'll wait for one of his easy parries. That's not one of the easy parries. So I just throw more stuff. That's an easy parry. And there we go, that's Manus. He has multiple beginners in phase 2. This one that you saw at the start here, though, is usually the one people are scared of the most. Which is why I usually, like, that is the one that is very special, and that is the, I hope for this one to happen first, because I don't want to go through 10 fucking Manus fights. But on that one, trust yourself and sprint at him. Because if you sprint to the side, the projectiles can like form this wave connecting with his first attack that make it impossible to dodge, which is why I heavily recommend to sprint at him during this move. All right, now it's time for Nameless Puppet. By the way, if you don't get this really good starter with his jump, you will just have to dodge his, do his attacks, his like dragging parries the same way like I did after his face, like his extra face transition thing, and like just chip him down. It's almost the same way. It's just slightly different. Okay, we're not going to use fire. We're only going to use these things now. I'm not going to use any of this. We're just going to use these. And this is the last boss of the run. Nameless Puppet. If you do decide to do it, if you do any percent, of course, you're done already. Oh yeah, Nameless Puppet is pretty straightforward. So for Nameless Puppet, what we're going to do is when the fight starts, we're immediately buffing our weapon with a grindstone. It's important that you do it with a grindstone because otherwise the timing is a bit off. And what we do then, first of all, we do change this to Puppet, of course, because we are fighting Puppet. And let me just sit here, just grab this. We discharge. We are going to doing the following thing. We let me actually make a save state here real quick. We buff our weapon. We throw one throwing cell. We do a heavy Fable parry. We're going to do 2 charged R2s into a weapon art. We're going to use 1 Fable Catalyst, only 1, into another charge R2 to kill him. And then we are going to, when the phase 2 starts, throw 3 cluster grenades while walking towards him, very important. Immediately switch to 3 throwing cells. Then we're going to throw one more cluster grenade. We're going to throw 2 shot puts while standing still. It's important that we stand still. And then he's going to be in another mini stagger. We're going to throw 3 body fluid bottles, these. And then we're going to throw 1 of these to stagger, full stagger him. This is very fast, and you cannot miss out a single beat. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it goes. And after we do that, we're going to discharge. We're going to use 1 Fatal Catalyst. We're going to do a fully charged R2, riposte, and immediately queue another charge R2. It has to be perfectly queued onto him. And we are going to watch a stamina bar. And when the stamina bar hits the max, exactly at that moment, you want to press parry to parry his explosion. Because this is actually a perfect timing for it. It's 100% consistent if you watch a stamina bar. And specifically, if you have your P organ the way I have it, with stamina regen on discharge and also the charge attack stamina consumption thing that we have. That way you make it 100% consistent for the parry. And after that, after that parry, you just do R2 and weapon art, and you'll be dead. Actually, wait, no, it's just weapon art, I believe. I believe it was just weapon art. I'm actually unsure right now. We'll see, though. Wait, did I change my thing? I did not change my thing. Let me change that real quick. Let's see if I can get it first try, because I actually haven't done the script in like a month. So we'll see how that goes. Touch. We refuse. Immediate this. One, 2, 3. Stop walking. 1, 2, 3. This. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Stagger. Discharge. Extra 1. Fully charge R2. Riposte. Fully charge R2 again. Watch your stamina. And there we go. That is how you do Nameless Puppet. As long as you stick to this full wrapped up package, it will be consistent. You have to trust it. That's the important thing. You just have to trust it. It is scary. It is terrifying, I know, but you have to trust it. Yeah, and that is Lies of P EL10 Hitless Guide fully done. If you do have any other questions, if you're watching the video on YouTube right now and you do have other questions, feel free to come to my Discord or come to my stream and ask me anytime. I'm always down to talk about it. I'm always down to talk about more details. I will eventually make a fully fleshed out guide that is like showcases every single attack and like is edited together. This is just a very like, I guess, like quote unquote low effort VOD. But when I do eventually do the fully edited guide, I will go into every single attack of every single boss and every single thing you should do in great detail for EL10 and as alternative controller friendly as I can. Unfortunately, I only use piano, so I cannot talk about the more difficult alternative controllers if you try Hitless with them. But I'm always down to talk about it. And that is that's actually about it for me. And I hope that this is useful to you, whoever's watching, whatever kind of run you want to do. And I'll see you either in my stream or my Discord. Bye-bye.